Welcome to another edition of Finest City Insider. I'm excited today because we have Loren Sanchez.
Hello.
And Loren, you've built a great reputation in real estate, and even now, even better one in leadership. But also, not only with the Loren Sanchez Group, which we're going to get into, but also our brokerage, Finest City. You've been a big part of leadership, growth, and the culture. And I'm very thankful for that. So,
Thank you. That means a lot.
Yeah, I want to dig a little bit into, how you got started and how the Loren Sanchez Group came about. Was it something that you envisioned from the start, or it just kind of happened? Tell us a little bit about that.
So my background is in real estate. I mean, since I was 16, 17 years old working at a front desk. So most people know that story. I feel like I've said it a million times, but if you don't, I started in high school at the front desk and then just kind of started working with agents, assistant. The market obviously changed in, 05, 06. I was in college. And I loved working with agents. I think that the schedule was perfect for school, so I just kind of stayed in it. Got a marketing degree and then went into working in marketing after being an assistant for quite some years and TC, so all the back end stuff,
Sure.
Working with agents. And then went into marketing and thought that was
That was it for
that's
you.
it. I loved it. I was so happy. Had my son, and then I got a severance. The company McMillan that I was working with was on the verge of selling to another company, and marketing was such a leisurely, great thing to have, but not the most necessary. So I was let go. And so in that time, I decided, what did I love to do? And I remember the funnest job that I had was being an assistant, but I knew I didn't want to do that again.
Right.
So I said, but it was working with clients. It was working day to day with agents. With clients, with buyers and sellers. So I decided to get my license and see where it would take me. My husband was a huge, you got to do this. He kept telling me always, you should be selling real estate. You should be selling real estate.
Yeah, great to have a supporter like that.
Yeah, but definitely. I knew how hard it was. I would watch people. So I knew, I didn't go into it thinking, I saw what had happened in 03, 04, 05, and then all the agents who were losing their homes and the lenders. And I just knew it wasn't what it was all cracked up to be.
Right.
It wasn't just this super glitzy, glammy thing that people could come into. So I got my license and then just started grinding my way through it. I needed to make money, and I needed to make money quickly.
Yeah. And how long before you started the Loren Sanchez Group were you a licensed agent?
So I was just by myself. I would say for the first 2 years, I immediately got into coaching. And when I got into coaching with Tom Ferry,
sure.
My coach told me, when you're on your way to close 18 deals, that's when you need to have an assistant.
Right.
So I was pregnant with my daughter, Valentina. This was 2018.
Okay.
Going into 2019, and I met Katie Hansen. She was working at the front desk at Coldwell Banker, and I said, I have to hire an assistant. I'm going to have a baby in May. I'm at 12 deals or something like that. And She was my first team. And so I created a team just based off of that, but with no plans to have anybody on the team.
So it happened organically.
Well, no, that was not organic. That was planned.
Yes.
But the rest of, hiring my first agent on the team, again, didn't want to do that. But it was all about alignment, really.
Yeah. So Loren Sanchez Group, let's get into that more.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you?
For me, it just means growth. It means for myself, it means that, I've come to a place where I could help others grow as well. I kind of look at growing a team, because I really truly only recruited went after one agent, and that's when I was already at Finest City. And everybody was like, you need to start growing a team. And people kept asking me, and I was like, no, it's okay. I don't want to have a team or more people. I like who was on the team already. But then as I've grown and had people on the team and seen people really grow on my team, I compare it to working with clients. I love seeing someone set out with a goal, maybe have all the things to get to that, or have the energy to get to that goal, but not the right systems in place.
Sure.
So getting to help people, I love it. It feels like another person obtaining a goal, and I had a small part to do with it.
Absolutely. And I've heard you say growth a few times on the response. And I think that is what is so special about the Loren Sanchez Group, because not only are your team members growing, but I see a lot of growth with yourself as well. And we've talked about this before, but I've noticed just to be a good leader doesn't happen overnight. It's a constant growth progression as well.
Yeah.
And I'm sure your team members see that as well in you.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Loren Sanchez Group, now you said kind of like 2018 with your first assistant, which started maybe the group together. When would you say you had your first team member as an agent?
So I had my first team member in 2019, end of 2019.
Okay.
So I had initially said like, no, I can help you, but I'm not going to, create a team. And then something in me was just like, no, there's something here. Like, let's see if I could help her.
Sure.
And so hired on my first team member, and then COVID happened.
Right.
COVID happened. And so and we were all really at a place where like, I needed to make sure I paid Katie. I needed to make sure our team agent, I sold her on this dream, kind of like, you could do it, I'm going to help you. And at the same time, my dad was diagnosed with cancer, like right at the beginning of 2019. I'm sorry, right at the beginning of COVID, beginning of 2020. So it was just go time. I don't know how we did it, but we all had, obviously, like most people, we had a really great year business-wise, and we really transitioned into just like full force work.
Sure. Okay, so it sounds like that was about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So let's talk about, where is Loren Sanchez Group today?
I think we're really aligned. I think we're really strong where we're at right now. I really want to grow. We've had different seasons and different agents on our team, and we've had people come and go. And I'm really grateful for everyone who's been on the team. Everyone has served such a valuable place, no matter their length of time on the team. I think I've learned a lot of lessons with with having a team and a leader.
Being a leader, yeah.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing for me right now where we're at is that I want to continue to grow. I think that when people are working on a team, I think that it starts from the top.
Absolutely.
I think that your team lead needs to, if they're not fully in production, like what are they offering you? What are the tools? What are the systems? Are they growing? What can they offer you? I think that it's a relationship of reciprocation.
Absolutely.
And you have to continually pour into your team, and then pour back into you.
Sure. And I definitely see that within the group.
Yeah.
Where would you say Loren Sanchez Group is headed? It's the next couple, 2 to 5 year plan.
So now I'm totally opposite.
Yeah.
Now the conversations, for example, that I have with my coach that I've had with you is about growth. I think it's about the right alignment, the right growth. I think it's about looking at, I don't expect everyone. People coming on a team are usually looking for something. They typically are not where they want to be yet.
Right.
Or they've been somewhere and they feel like they're not aligned. So what I'm looking for is for people who maybe are just lacking the systems and structure, but definitely have the want to succeed. I mentioned to you before that, I realized a few weeks ago that there's 3 things that get people to work. And this is kind of what I've realized. And when I'm looking at, adding people to my team, and I've realized that either they're really ambitious, crazy ambitious,
right,
super passionate about helping people, or there's a necessity.
Yes.
Like no options. I got to make money, and I got to make money quick. And if I see that in someone, they don't have either one of those things, I can't coach them. They're not made for me to work with. So I've kind of made that decision where I've got to find those things in people. Like, the production will come, but the energy and the want need to be there way before they come and talk to me.
Right. And we talked about those motivational, pitches or speeches that some constantly have to have, that you brought up, that, you can't teach that, right?
Yeah. I think that I'm definitely over, and this is just like super direct. I don't want to be filling anybody's cup anymore. I think I did that for a little while. And I think that, as a mom, as a wife, like my job is to fill my family's cup.
Absolutely.
And so at work, it's about motivation. People are constantly looking for motivation, and it's like, you need to start looking for discipline.
Absolutely.
So that you can be consistent. If you don't have motivation, like, talk somewhere, like I can't help that, right? Like there's got to be a fire, a need, something in you that keeps you going. And motivation, I'm like overhearing about it.
Yeah,
like
I'd have
if you're
to
not motivated in this industry, you are a self-employed salesperson
in the wrong profession.
Like,
so with that being said, and you've probably answered this, but what would you say is the ideal Loren Sanchez Group team member?
Okay, so one of the three.
Yeah.
So ambitious, passionate, or, have a necessity. And after you get that necessity, I hope you become ambitious and and passionate, because once this necessity goes away, which I've seen in people, once they don't need to go out there and work, if they're not ambitious or they're not passionate about what they're doing, well, what's going to get you out of bed every single day?
Yeah.
What's going to get you?
They've got to be hungry.
They've got to be hungry. You got to keep that hunger. So the ideal team member for me is someone that I could just help, right? I don't think that I'm responsible for anybody's success.
Sure.
I think that some teams are always looking, or they think that they own like the team members on their team. Like they are offended when they leave. They take it so personally, and like, I'm human, I take it personally too.
Of course.
But I think that there's just a season for people on my team. I think that, I'm a part of their growth, and that if I'm doing my job as an agent, as a team lead, that they'll one day do their own thing, So my ideal team member is someone who's just looking to be more of themselves.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Just some coaching, like
someone who's coachable.
Yeah, I don't want mini me's,
Right.
rolling around. Like no one wants that. That'll be way too much for anyone. But someone who wants to be authentically more of themselves and maybe just needs some systems and some structures in place. Like that's what I want to do, like tools. Right? The more I grow, the more I pour into my team. Like I'm definitely not afraid to invest in this team.
Absolutely. That makes sense. Yeah. And what would you say, with that being said, what separates an LSG team member from maybe another group or another name out there?
I don't know other team members on other teams. So
Sure.
I can only speak to I don't know. Let me think of that question a little differently.
Like what differentiates your team from another team, would you say? There's a lot of teams out there. I agree with you.
Yeah. So I think that the thing that makes us who we are, speaking, to our team, is that we are definitely, we're all on our own path, honestly. Like everyone on my team is, pretty diverse. We're some, without kids, some moms, working, I've got 2 kids. Katie's got 4 kids, and Roxana's got 2 kids. I mean, Heather is now an empty nester with 1. And, we have Alex on our team, Alexandra, and then our admin support too. And so we're all just kind of in different story.
All women too, right?
Yes, all women. I made that decision. this is a good vibe for me.
Yeah.
But our synergy is really good. So what makes us different is that we're all different. We're all different, but yet we all, I feel, really support one another. The collaboration is there. There isn't any kind of, not here to help. I think we all step in to help one another. And it's that we're all different. I think that we're all every time I meet with one of the agents on my team, it's kind of like, who are you?
Sure.
And who do you want to be? And what story do you want to tell? Right? So when you're working with clients, what is your unique, pitch? Who are you? And being more of that.
Yeah, I love that you bring more of them out. And not only just in their profession, but I feel like in personal development too, which is what I see within your team.
Yeah, I would hope so. I mean, again, having a team, and I think this is too, because we get to know each other so well. You and I have conversations about Heather all the time, and our team, our whole team, she's just got this really unique energy. And I always tell her, wherever I am in life, make sure there's a seat next to you.
Absolutely.
At any table.
Yes.
Because she's truly one of a kind. And she came from a corporate background. So there's parts of her that is so straight lines. And I'm like, girl, it's a real estate transaction. You got to flow. You got to flow with it. And, so I think I've learned so much from my team. It excites me to work with them. And so while I'm learning about them, it gets me to open my eyes on okay, who's Heather's ideal client? What should her approach be? Because she's not me.
And that's the reciprocation that you were talking about.
Yeah.
Which is so nice.
Yeah. I love it. This is why I think expansion is so important for me right now, because of what I've got to experience. I think especially in these last 2 years where we've added people on our team, is that I've learned so much from my team agents. So it's
Absolutely.
The best.
And I did mention that you're a team of all women.
Uh-huh.
Tell me, is that something that you'll continue? going down that path and you said it aligned with you, why would you say that?
I think that the conversations are just different.
Sure.
Women are highly emotional. We get attached in certain ways. I think that I've had a male on my team before, and he is awesome. He's a great agent,
Of course,
and he vibed with us really well. Honestly, like he was great. But I think that there was certain things that we would really connect on that.
Or maybe unrelatable to him.
Yeah, and I think that that's okay. And you also don't want to force like natural relationships, like authenticity.
Sure.
And so I realized that the way that we could be the best of ourselves was to just be us. And I don't know if that's right or wrong. And I don't know if, 10 years from now I'll change my mind. And
of course,
I don't know what that looks like. But for right now, this feels really good to me, having all women on the team.
That's very inspiring. You guys have a powerful group of women, and I've heard from many others, and I see it on social media. Just you're following all of the positive memes or just I guess your messages that you portray.
Yeah.
I could see how that could be attracting to other women. So.
Yeah.
Very
like
commendable.
I said, it's cool because we're all in different places in our lives, and we all, whether we're single, married, dating, whatever it may be, we have really great conversations of what that looks like to be a working woman in this industry and to have different relationships. So it's just been something that I've really enjoyed. I'm a wife, I'm a mom. My husband and I are both self-employed, and it's just been really cool to connect with women in different ways and kind of see how they're leading, themselves in this industry with being a woman, because it's different than I think being a man in real estate.
I'd have to agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Loren, I've now that you've been in the business for selling real estate for about 8 years now. I know you've been in the business a lot longer. Mm-hmm. But I got to imagine, would you say your clientele is about the same now, or has it kind of evolved into something else? What would you say?
I think it's definitely evolved. I think that when I started out, it was a lot of sphere, friends and family that were either buying their first property or selling their first condo and getting that first single family detached house. And so that's how kind of it started. And now I think it's adjusted. Obviously, people are going into like their forever homes or, looking for that home that has
property.
That has all the things. And also because I've made those relationships, the clientele is more mature. I would say. We're looking at clients, the parents or the grandparents, life changes, things like that. So my clientele is definitely more mature. I still love a first-time home buyer.
Absolutely.
There's nothing that fills your cup, I think. I mean, they all fill my cup, but I think first-time home buyers, I actually have one that we're giving keys to. And Keithia, my lender here at Finest City Homes and Loans too, we've been working with her since 2019, I believe, 2020, something like that.
And they just bought their first home.
They just bought their first home. She bought her first home, first generation, female, single mom, single woman,
Amazing.
So no help, no gifted funds, just pure savings.
5 to 6 years. Sometimes it's not a couple of days.
And she could have done it before. She could have done it before. She was approved a while ago, but it had to feel right to her.
Of course.
And so God's timing is always perfect. So it's like, I'm more mature, but also still those kind of stories. Like once you start working with me, I rarely will let you go.
Yeah, I like that.
I'll somehow find you.
I like that. So more mature and maybe more educated with the process. They maybe have been through the process before.
Yeah. Yeah.
How is that navigating maybe someone who's purchased their first home and now looking for a move-up property? Is that easy to do in this market, or what would you say with that?
No, I don't think it was easy in any markets. Mm-hmm. A contingent sale has a lot of moving parts. And I think as an agent, you have to know what you're doing when it comes to that, because there's a lot, like I said, there's a lot of moving parts, and some things are totally in your control and some things aren't, because it's such a domino effect. So, I think that,
like you said, I think it takes the right team, like you said.
Yeah. Oh, the strategy, right? So the strategy, and because it's like a muscle, and I say this to the team, right? As some are newer, there are clients and there's going to be situations that you're going to stumble and have to like, wait, how do I deal with this? I'm dealing with one right now with a well. Like I've never dealt with this. It's a well that feeds the whole house,
Wow.
right? Most wells just do irrigation. So the
Yes.
testing and all these things, that it's like a learning lesson for me.
Right.
Like ask me about septics. I know all about that. But it's a muscle, so the more that you use that muscle, the better you are at it. So I'm
Makes sense.
big on like units, like on help. More people that you help, the more personalities you learn,
Yes.
the more your conversations change, and the more probably obstacles you have to overcome. It makes you a better agent. Like having easy peasy deals, I don't want the messy ones all the time,
Of course.
but having those deals that kind of stretch you and make you use another muscle are always good.
Then that's part of what's fun about our business, right? It's
Yeah.
never always the same.
Yeah.
You can be in the business 5 years, 8 years, 15 years,
Yeah.
and you're always dealt with that one that you've never dealt with before.
Yeah, and then you remind yourself, like, are we having fun yet?
Exactly.
Is this fun?
Yes. Yes.
No.
And would you say that you've kind of grown with some of your clients too? Like maybe you've sold them their first property.
Oh, yeah.
And then, they're buying their move up property.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Maybe helping some of their family members and, second generation, et cetera, et cetera.
Oh yeah, I definitely have. I think I've been really, really blessed, and it's been 100% calculated too.
Sure.
Is to build a business from the people that know, like, and trust me.
Yeah.
I'm not I love to prospect as far as like to call people that I don't know, when I've sold something in an area or stuff like that. But my bread and butter is the people that trust me already.
Yeah.
So I've been really blessed because my phone will ring and it will be someone who's referred me, or I'm given a phone number. And so
it's a reward of years of good service.
yeah, and I will not, like, that is a hill I will not ever get off of. Like I am so into like pouring back into those people because they pour right back into me. So I've grown with them, and they've really, they've supported my family. They don't just support me, they support my family. And so it's like, it's huge.
Yeah, absolutely. And, years of now in the business, and
Yeah.
I know that selling real estate in San Diego, we sell real estate all over San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say there's, our offices in 3rd Avenue, downtown Chula Vista, you live in Chula Vista, I could tell your heart is in Chula Vista.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say you focus in an area or kind of sell all over? Is there...
So I think that we definitely sell all over. When I say we, it's the team too, right?
Sure.
So primarily, yes, I am located in Chula Vista. My office is, your office, our office is our second home. It's all within 1 mile radius. My whole life is like
nice.
this, and it makes me so happy. I feel so blessed. But we work all Chula Vista.
Sure.
I think naturally, as we've, because I was also marketing for a company that built out the majority of Chula
You can
Vista.
tell. Yeah.
People, funny enough, will call me like the Chula Vista historian, because when I was in marketing, I had to learn like all of the subdivisions in Rancho Del Rey and Otay Ranch, and our last project was Millennia. That naturally, I'm very familiar with all parts of Chula Vista.
Sure.
So where I live and where I service is all of South County truly, and then the rest of it. But I primarily focus, and naturally my business has taken me to higher price points. So wherever that's at in Chula Vista.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that being said, I've noticed that you've taken on a handful more of listings in East Chula Vista.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, it'll take you anywhere. But,
Yeah.
San Miguel Ranch, the East Lake Vistas,
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah.
you've had a few more listings there, I've seen.
Yeah. I think that's natural for, the price points are obviously higher there,
Sure.
right? So we know that. And I think every buyer, I know where the highest price points, where you can get the biggest homes, all the boxes checked in East Chula Vista, and then the pockets of Rancho Del Rey or Pepper Tree or whatever it may be. There's pockets everywhere. But that's our focus, I think, moving forward. Obviously we want to help as many people as we can, and so we welcome all the business everywhere. But our standard is definitely like at a luxury standard. Our marketing is always at that point, whether it's a $300,000 condo or a $2.5 million home.
Sure.
The standard is the same.
And
It's
I was
built
going to
out
mention
for
that,
luxury.
and how shows, and it makes a big difference with your marketing background.
Mm-hmm.
And like you mentioned, whether it's a $300,000 condo or a $3 million home, marketing, you have to be very strategic with your marketing.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about that with the LSG marketing, because there is a difference. And Whatever I saw 6 months ago that the LSG was producing, it's been elevated to today. And I already know 6 months from now, it's going to keep evolving.
Yeah, I'm so excited about that. Because obviously I'm so behind now on market. I mean, I focus primarily on selling. But we have a great marketing. She is incredible. So we hired someone who has no idea about real estate, and I love that.
Yes, different.
She's funny because, nothing's done really in Canva. She is a true, marketing person, and she like fills my cup. Like I'm smiling so big because
let's
I
give a
think,
shout out to
Valeria with Valda Studios. She is incredible. She really gets my vision for what we want to do. The style is so elevated. She's so calm and collected, and she's excited,
Yes.
for the projects that
You
we
can tell
do.
she's passionate
Yeah,
about it.
she's really passionate, and so like anybody on my team, I really feed off of that. So alignment is everything. She's been with us a little over a year now, and I couldn't appreciate her more. She's elevated. We're always talking about new ways to do more, to get better, and I couldn't be more excited about what the future has for us.
Yeah, and I would say that's definitely a big advantage of being on the LSG team, because I understand she's only working with your team.
Yeah, no, she does work with a few other agents. I don't think she's taking any more on right now, just because capacity, right? We all know like where our capacity's at. But she does work with a few agents.
Got it.
What I do also love about her is that, like anything, and I think I really realize this in marketing, she looks at each client and sees what works for them.
Yes.
So what we see a lot in this industry, and it's okay, like there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not like, anti it. But a lot of agents, everybody looks exactly the same. And I think that she's constantly trying to set her clients apart. And I really appreciate that.
She's authentic to her clients.
Yes.
Yeah,
and I
absolutely.
really
You can see it.
appreciate that. So that kind of care and like, her work ethic, her style, it just comes across. So
Yeah,
couldn't
fits you
be
very well.
more excited.
Excellent. Now, with the market, of course, it's always a topic of conversation. Now we're in 2026. The COVID days are 3 years out. Where would you say some of the market trends are now, just in real estate in general?
Yeah. So our market is still moving. I think we've had probably such an incredible first start to the year. Our team has. We had a great, year last year, even though it felt really hard. I think market trends right now is there's a lot more behind the scenes happening in a real estate transaction to get a home to move. I think that's why we see market time so much longer, because there's a lot of agents who either got in during that COVID market, are getting out, completely,
Sure.
or are just trying to like navigate this new market, that we've had. And so the current market conditions that I've seen is that homes are still selling. And some of them are selling pretty fast, but you need to be way more reasonable on pricing.
Right.
You need to understand, the comparables around you. The market will tell you what a home is worth, not any more, not any less.
And you've said this before, but one thing that I always appreciate that you point out is not only be conscious about the comparables of the homes that have sold, but also the current competition.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I think that, I heard Leslie's podcast that she did with you, and very, very similar in that. And I totally agree with her that you price out a home like you could meet with someone 2 months ago and you're going to reprice or look at what that exact listing strategy should be, 24 to 48 hours before a home goes on the market. I think that knowing your competition is really, really important, and highlighting your client's property is the most important thing that you can do. And again, adjusting strategy. I don't walk into every home, every property, every scenario the same.
Absolutely.
Whether it's
the
client needs a different level of care,
Definitely.
the home needs different things. We're definitely going to go in and create a strategy that works.
So from a seller's perspective, still a seller's market?
Yeah. When you let your agent guide you, yes. It could be very much a seller's market.
Very well said.
Multiple offers still happen.
Yeah.
Maybe not 10, maybe 2 or 3.
Right.
Still multiple.
Now, from a buyer's perspective, where would you say the trends are? Where would you guide a buyer to success today?
Is know your budget, right? Know what you're looking for. Be sure to be realistic. There's so much opportunity out there. You need to have an agent who sees outside of the box, someone who's bringing you you know, options, you know, and you just not doing all the legwork. I think that's where agents, I had a meeting with my team yesterday and I call it like it's reverse prospecting for me. And I was showing them what I do. So like the units that we recently sold to our client is he was going to rent his property out again. And I knew he had a lot of equity. And so I kept seeing this duplex.
Right.
And I was like, man, if I had this DSCR loan is so good. If I sold, but I wouldn't sell this one unit that I have. And so I was like, if I found someone who had this kind of down payment, and then what do you know?
You knew who the right buyer was.
And I said, you got to buy this. This is perfect. This is how the numbers are going to work. And, you know, obviously you got Keithy involved and, you know, we made it make sense. And so I now have realized, like, when you find something that's great, I call it minding my business. And reverse prospecting is finding, you know, something really cool on the market, really interesting. And then who do you have that this would fit the situation? You know, I have clients that I'll reach out to, past clients, and I'll say, hey, I'm just minding my business. But I know, like, literally minding my business. But I know you wanted the house with the bedroom downstairs and the pool. Like, this just came on the market. And they could have not told me that they're looking. They're like, you know what, let's go look at it. And then there's a transaction.
And that doesn't only come from minding your own business, but it also comes from the trust your clients have with you.
Yeah.
You know, and I always explain this to some agents, like, you can't be the boy who cried wolf and call your agents, you know, or call your clients 10 different times about 10 different properties.
Yeah.
But you know them so well that you really felt this is the right property for
100%.
them. And they listen to you. And they're in escrow now?
So, well, on we closed on the units.
Okay, so we closed on that one.
Yeah, we closed on the units. Agent relationships were great. We knew the listing agent, and I was like, I'm going to sell this. I kept driving by it. I'm like, I got to sell this house. I got to sell these units. And then on the other one, same thing, same as well, right? So,
would you say buyers have a little bit more leverage now than what they did?
100%. I think the contingent, so this is what I always say about contingent. Contingent is you get best of both worlds, or the worst of both worlds, right? Mm-hmm. Because you're going to experience one way on your sell and you're going to experience another thing on your buy. But when it comes to buyers, you know, it's hard for a first-time home buyer out there. Like, let's not be, you know, I'm not going to paint it that it's just the easiest thing. And, you know, these mortgage payments are easy, but what's the other option? To continue to wait?
Yep. And it's probably going to get harder.
Yeah. So I do think that, but there is things that we're doing. I think you need a really strong lender partner. I've had the same my entire career. In real estate, we kind of came up together and we really strategize. Like the one that I told you about earlier that we're giving her keys. Like, we're so stoked. Like, we cried when we got that offer accepted. Wow. And so it's just, it's those things. It's looking at what your buyers could do, seeing what opportunities they have, and maximizing that for them. You can't do it by yourself. Unless they're cash, that's a whole different story. But get your team involved. You know, if that's your lender, whoever you work with, like, strategize. The listing agent is also a strategist with you. It's not just you as the buyer's agent. Yes. Lean on that listing agent. See how you can. Everybody wants to help their client. So how do you work together?
Absolutely. And would you say once a buyer is an escrow, are you seeing any other trends today than what you weren't seeing maybe a couple of years ago with buyers? Is some sellers maybe accommodating them a bit more now, or would you say it's about the same or case by case?
I think it's about the same, honestly. Yeah. I'm not someone who I kind of want to be treated the same way. I want to service my client first. Sure. That's my job, is to service my client. But also put out, before we get into escrow, I try to lay out a very clear path on how we're going to get them keys. So I think that when you don't do that, when I walk a property, right, I'll start pointing things out immediately. That way, when an inspection happens, I mean, that's really when you can have an issue, inspection and appraisal, because we already know kind of what their payment is going to be.
Right.
I'm not writing offers without my client having an idea, right? Keithy will send them an idea of what their payment is. So I try to have them as knowledgeable as possible so that the escrow is as smooth as possible. So no, I don't, the way that I work, I don't see a lot of change. It's just really helping your clients navigate the process as best possible and setting realistic expectations. I think that's the most.
That definitely makes
like, I'll be outside. I'm like, okay, so that roof is jacked up, but does the price match what if we don't get that covered,
right?
Is it still worth it? What are the comparables in the area going for? Like, having that level of knowledge keeps everything pretty copacetic.
Yeah. And then there's no surprises at the end. So that's, I guess, from a maybe buyer seller standpoint. What about from an agent standpoint? What's working in today's market for agents?
For agents, I mean, working.
Working works. Yeah. What do
I
you know?
think showing up. I think that what in our industry happens is that we've always heard it. It's the real estate roller coaster. I think that you get a few deals under your belt and then you lay off the gas. And, I don't want to go pedal to the metal all the time. Like that's exhausting. But my foot is always on the gas.
Yep.
Always. And I think that the more consistent you are in your business and the more that you show up, if you just treated it like a real job, the business is going to reward you back.
Absolutely.
It will.
Yep.
Yeah.
Time in the market.
Time in the market, my coach told me, I was like, I'm having all these opportunities. She's like, activity begets activity.
Yes.
Like the more that you work, the more that you show up, the more people will continue to show up for you. The phone will ring, the opportunities will come. And so there's just no way going around that. I think that people think there's a crystal ball for this, but work will take care of you. I've leaned on this business so much, and I'm not without, and I haven't been without. I'm really grateful.
Absolutely. I think one of my favorite sayings is, the harder I work, the luckier I get.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
yeah, luck is opportunity meeting. What is it? It's like luck is opportunity meeting, like readiness, preparedness. Right. And so,
preparation,
yeah, the more you stay ready, my trainer, my gym trainer would always be like, don't get ready. You got to stay ready to get ready or something. I'd be like, shut up.
But it's so
But
true.
it was so true. Because I was just like, is it leg day again?
Yeah.
Like leg days every day. I'm like, ugh.
Funny how a lot of those life sayings just really incorporates into our work life as well.
Yeah, it's the truth.
Yeah. So, Loren, I do want to also say, and I really do mean this, I'm so honored to have you part of Finest City Homes and
Thank you.
Loans. And I know there's a lot of brokerages out there.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to ask you, why Finest City?
Why Finest City? Because no, I'm just kidding.
Because I called you and hounded you 3 years ago?
Yeah. No, you didn't even hound me. You said if it's all about an office for you, this isn't the brokerage for you. I was like, okay.
Take away. You have to
All right.
try to
He's a
take away.
Scorpio. No. No. Finest City for me was, I always hear people say this when they're making moves, not to make a lateral move. And you want to make a move that really sits. It's like any relationship, right?
Yeah,
when you hire
that's what
someone,
it is,
it's a relationship.
Absolutely.
So when you hire someone, when you get into a relationship, whatever it looks like, a friendship, you don't get in it, thinking about your exit, honestly. You get into it for like, where's the growth? How can I learn? How can I be better? How can this serve me and everyone around me? Because I think when you're an agent, it's not just about you. It's like,
Right.
How can you serve your clients
Absolutely.
better?
Definitely. Especially
So-
a team leader.
Right. So exactly. So then I also had my team, and I've been blessed. My team really trusted me when I made that move. And I said, this is the move that we're making. Go ahead and do your research. But I think this is the best move. And they were like, done, did it. Great. Let's go. And so I was really, really lucky with that. But I chose Finest City. Obviously, you choose a leader. And so I chose to work with you because I felt like, okay, I've been at all these other brokerages before. I've been at the big brokerages. Ultimately, an agent wants to feel retained.
Yes.
Because a lot of people will focus on recruitment and being the biggest. And I think that there's a huge discrepancy when it comes to being the biggest and then being the best. And the best is different to everyone, right? What I feel is like success for me isn't success for you necessarily,
Absolutely.
right? We're all different and we're all looking for different things. So when I chose Finest City, I wanted somewhere, because we had come out of COVID too, right? So I had already done like all the things by myself. I was like, what do I need from a brokerage, right? So I was looking at these cloud brokerages and I was like, okay, well, I already do all that stuff by myself, but I don't want to do certain things either by myself. I'm not ready to be solo yet. So looking at Finest City, I saw that I could be more of myself there. I saw myself of like, okay, I wasn't helping people do flips and I hadn't done any flips myself. And like, you were so, you are so well versed in that, and bringing those opportunities to you, working with you on those things. Like I've grown a lot in that. It's a platform. Finest City has been a platform for me to be a better version of myself.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And having a quick phone call, like, the brokers that I've worked with in the past, I don't know the last time that they sold real estate, right? Wow. I don't know how many deals that they're in the trenches with. And then the managers that I've worked with too have been great. they all served a purpose.
Sure.
But I think that where I'm at right now, I needed someone who was doing the things that I hope to do one day, and that was you. So, and Finest City is collaborative.
It is collaborative, and
We're so collaborative, and so I love that.
Yeah.
On a small scale, but it feels intimate. It feels authentic. We compete within each other,
Yes.
you know, and I like that. It's all healthy. And it all helps us grow. So I love it.
And we're doing business together.
100%. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Loren. I appreciate you coming in today,
Thank
the
you.
Finest City Insider.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Cool.